Hello, welcome back to Magical. I'm going to be talking about the Unearthed Arcana Source and Warlock that recently came out. One thing I would like to note, uh, looking at what's coming up with DND, I don't think the Mystic class is going to happen anymore. As before, we had our uh, Astro Monk. That's kind of like a Mystic-y option. It was kind of like the Psychic Blades that the Mystic had. And now we have the Aberrant Mind here, which you can see right here, psionic spells. So the Mystic options, it looks like it's not going to be its own class, it's being spread out throughout the other classes. So pretty much your bloodline, if you will, your origin. Well, that's not really bloodline because you get it from other things, but your origin is from some sort of aberration. You can get telepathy. This is very similar to the telepathy Great Old One gets. You get some spells. Not too bad. Mind-based. Dissonant Whispers, Armors for Dar, Calm Mish, Tech Thoughts. Not too bad. It's okay. Warping. So like this is the issue that I'm seeing. It's like it's okay, but this is like the Great Old One's level 1 ability. And this is the Dragon Sorcerer's level 1 ability, like mechanically speaking. And then this I do like. It makes sense to have. You can spend your sorcery points to cast the spells. That makes sense. Pretty simple there. Advantage against saving throws against being charmed or frightened, and resistance to psychic damage. Yeah, I mean it's not bad. Nothing's really like popping for me though with this. This one here, this one I quite like. You can choose how many sorcerer's points you spend on it. Get yourself swimming speed, flying speed, squeeze. But at the same time, level 14, by the time you're that level, like, this is easy stuff to replicate. Like, having it all at once, that's pretty big. But this lasts for, how long does it last again? For 1 minute. I don't know. It doesn't feel that impressive. And here, 20-foot radius, magically radiate transparent 20-foot radius for 1 minute. Takes form of rippling psychic energy. Other creatures shoot there is difficult terrain. Start turning and take 2d10 psychic damage. When you activate this feature, you can choose any number of creatures you can see to be unaffected by the aura. As a bonus action, you can end the aura early if you do so. Any number of creatures you choose them or are teleported to a location you can see within 1 mile of you. Each creature must appear within 20 feet of you in an occupied space. No living creature succeeds on cast is not teleported. Okay, so you got some damage, and if you end it early, teleportation. So like you got. You're not using a spell, but you're able to do some more damage. 2d10 each turn, not too bad. And then teleportation, place you can see within 1 mile. Technically, you can look straight up and send him a mile up. So that could be pretty crazy, but that's not really rules as intended now, is it? And also, like, they get a save against that as well. So, like, it's got solid things, but nothing feels impressive. Doesn't really feel too unique. I don't know. This could have been interesting if maybe it was 13 plus con, or if just something else. I just don't like the fact that it's the same as Dragon Sorcerer. And then this one here, it's pretty similar to the. Oh no, it's actually a little more. I'm really looking at it. Lasts for 10 minutes. No, it's pretty similar. It's just it makes it look like it's limited, but it's you're not limited how many times you could do it, and you can just but you have telepathy with one person within 30 feet of you. It's pretty similar. So between that and that, like they just it doesn't. Those two don't feel unique. This one, it feels like it's just like, all right, that's something we need to do. This one, like, it makes sense for it, but it doesn't feel impressive. Granted, it's only level 6, but like I haven't been impressed with any of the rest of it so far. Like this one, I quite like it, but I would have liked to have seen that at a lower level, or give it a longer duration, or maybe have even more options to it. As is, I don't know, maybe give an unarmed attack as an option. Pretty much for that, I'm looking at, like for this, this is something you can get normally easily at level 1 from things. This one you can easily get, if nothing else, by level 5. This one's pretty unique. I quite like this one, and I quite like this one. So those two options I really, really do like. Those two options does make it worth. No, I mean that's level 14. I don't know. I having them all at one, being only 1 minute, I would have put it at level 6. It's just not impressive level 14. And for this being called warp reality, I don't really think it's doing too much to warp reality. Like, they're taking psychic damage, sure, but the picture I get in my head of what's actually happening is very similar to spiritual pressure in Bleach, to where it's just like pushing them down. Like, and they can still walk around, but it's just like there's a weight in their mind, but because it's like they're taking damage, but they're not. Nothing's happening to them unless you end it early, and then you have a chance of teleporting them. I don't like it. I don't know. It doesn't feel impressive. I don't like it. And then let's look at the warlock. All right, so the spells we got here make sense. Create a destroy, water, thunder wave, gust of wind, silence, lightning bolt. So I'm like, they feel kind of like stormy. I feel like this is the and then looking at this one here, you create a tentacle that deals, if I can see where it was, cold or lightning damage. So this is pretty much like the storm, for like the storm sorcerer version of the warlock. This one lasts for 1 minute, but you can do it number of times you go to charisma modifier, long rest, 1 minute, 2d8. That's fine. I like that. I like 1d8 then 2d8. I like this. That I like. I like the fact that you're getting it from like maybe a Kraken or a Leviathan, and they're gonna. So you're almost like manifesting parts of your patron. This one here. That's your ribbon ability. Get some telepathy with certain creatures. Which pretty much anything has any swimming speed, you could have telepathy with. Again, you're the storm version of the warlock. It makes sense. You can breathe water, swimming speed, Resistance to cold. Swimming speed, again, a lot of times you get that at first level. Same thing with this one. But comparing it to this one here that you got at level 14, this one's at level 6, so I don't think that's that bad, and I quite like that. Resistance to cold and the swim speed again, and then the breathing both air and water again. You're the storm version, so that all makes sense. I do find it kind of odd that like you have it lightning and cold here, lightning and cold here, but you don't get resistance to lightning damage. It's whatever, but I feel like you should get resistance to lightning as well. And then here, Guardian Grasp. You can reduce damage. This is kind of like Uncanny Dodge that the Rogue has, but for other people instead of yourself. And the tentacle has to be out, and this will end the tentacle. So it's a worse version of Uncanny Dodge. As it has to be within 10 feet of the tentacle has to be out. You're using your reaction. It has to be on, does it specifically say? Oh, you and others. So it could be for you as well. But it ends the tentacle, so this is a worse version of Uncanny Dodge that can be shared. I would have preferred... I would have almost preferred to where you're using, maybe like use your bonus action or even your action, and you can give dodge to creatures within 10 feet. And then you could do it for the entirety of the tentacles being there, to like the tentacles interfering with stuff. Alright, Devouring Maw. Temporary hit points. Okay, so basically this would be like the mouth of the Kraken. They'd be restrained. You could do this once per short and long rest. So you can't do it so you can do it depending on how you play your game and how many short rests you get. You could do it probably just about the same amount of times as you can do your, or is it, Grasp of the Deep. Colder Lightning again, and then this one's going to give you some temporary hit points at the start of your turn. It's going to last 1 minute. And that's going to be actually pretty good if you either have bad strength saving throws. And then here we have Unleash the Depths. Where you're 30 feet of you, where your patron tears through reality, manifesting a measure of the galactic. Choose one of the following effects issue from this manifestation point. Once you use either effect, you can't use the feature again until you finish the long rest. So you get one or the other. So, you and up to 5 willing creatures of your choice you can see within 30 feet. Manfish are grasped by tentacles and yanked through the patron's realm. Teleport you and chosen creatures appointed your choice within 100 miles that you have visited within the past 24 hours. That's interesting. This explicitly says within the past 24 hours. I wonder what that part was for. I don't like if it's with it saying 24 hours. Like I don't understand why you need to limit 100 miles. I would prefer just saying anywhere you, as long as you've been there before. I would have preferred that. They had to have been there before within 100 miles. That's what I would have preferred. But it's still pretty good. Like if you go into a dungeon, you can easily get away, so on and so forth. Dexterity saving throw. Okay, so if I'm this one was melee spell attack, and then this will use your bonus action to repeat the attacks. Yeah, that actually would have been pretty interesting with Grasp of the Deep and Guardian Grasp. We gotta use your bonus action so you can either attack or give someone a dodge action. That would be the effects of the dodge action. That would be interesting to have there. You gotta choose either do damage or support. Must make it again. Spell save DC. Take 6d10 cold damage or lightning damage. Is knocked prone, and then this is lasting. Okay, just right there. So yeah, you're doing a bunch of damage in one go, and then you might knock them prone. But ultimately, I don't think it's that impressive. 60-10, well, 60-10 to like 5 creatures. So that's up to like 30d10. So that's a lot of damage, but yeah, I don't know. I like my capstones to do stuff that change things. So almost like Grasp of the Deep more than Unleash the Depths. Considering Grasp of the Deep, it like when you activate it, it changes how you're playing. That's why I like a lot of the Paladin capstones. They change how you play it, at least for like that 1 minute that it's activated. And we got one new spell, Mind Sliver, Mind Sliver, yes. So, Sorcerer, Warlock, Wizard gets access to it. That almost tells me one thing right there. We're probably not going to see Psionic themed Bard or Cleric. So you cause them to make an intelligence saving throw. That's actually really nice considering there isn't a official spell right now that does intelligence saving throw. And then they take psychic damage. And if they would then get a minus d4 to a saving throw, which, like, if you can decrease their ability to make saving throws, you're gonna be being more effective anyway. So if you're concentrating on something, Mind Sliver would probably be one of the more effective cantrips you could be using during your concentration. Yeah, so that's what I think about these guys. I like the Warlock one more than the Sorcerer one. As is, like this, when I was looking through, because I had looked through this before just to get my thoughts, but when I was looking through this before, each creature in the area must succeed a strength saving throw. Any creature that starts in the area takes damage, but you get temporary hit points equal to restraint. It doesn't say anything about like, because it says takes the damage, but it doesn't say anything about like restraining someone again. So you can easily be in a situation where they're taking damage, but they're not restrained, so you're not getting temporary hit points. And I'd personally just find that annoying. I think that you should have a thing to where you can spend either an action or a bonus action to try and restrain people again. And then this, like, change it to giving people the benefits of a dodge action, and then let it go for the use your bonus action. You gotta choose one or the other. Let it go for the entirety of the time, and I think that'd be great. This one, I think it needs to be reworked. Like, this is fine. This is, I feel, necessary when you do have this sorcerer spell list. And sure, this makes sense, but it just feels like we already have those things. Alright, well, next, as long as nothing else comes up that I feel I gotta make a video on, the next video I plan to make is a build video for Macaroni Hippo. And y'all have a good time. Bye.